Nobody.
Let me get you guys' idea about this, because I'm everybody's guilty, but why are people always so much more aggressive on Twitter than anywhere else? You get the same person.
Have
I think
140
it's the
characters.
same.
You gotta get
character
all your
limit.
hate in.
Because I think it's the same reason why people act differently on YouTube or they act differently on TikTok. It's just kind of the social structure that each one of these social media platforms kind of encourages, and the culture that kind of popped up there when they were first exploding.
Yeah,
I think Twitter,
and it's a public call out,
ahead.
obviously. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, and like also, you would definitely know this too, Kurt. When stand-up comedians started making their bones on Twitter and just absolutely one-line replying, destroying people, that kind of became the cool thing to do too.
You can't read intent or someone. There's no a whole chunk of context is missing.
Totally.
So stuff, I'm a New Jersey like shore trash basically. So stuff that maybe wouldn't sound as bad said looks so bad in print. I don't go on it like that.
Yeah.
And I know like Andy Kindler's Andy Kindler, the comic.
No.
I don't. Sorry.
No, you have to apologize to me. He flipped out on me on Twitter. I know this guy for years, and he flipped out on me because I made a joke about they let Roe v. Wade get destroyed and then start asking for money the next day, and he's so his whole there's all these people on Twitter, and there's like a package narrative they got to be part of. So it includes everything like vaccine and like Trump and whatever, and so they're not thinking about any individual topic. They're thinking about the overall narrative of the war to make sure the one thing they care about doesn't happen. So if you just point out a thing that's real, they get flipped out. Like, what are you trying to lose the war? Because you got to always be in, war propaganda for every aspect of your goddamn life now.
And you gotta ask yourself, like, how much shit do you want to take by having an opinion that's different than the rest of everybody else's narrative? Because all that happens is a fucking dog pile.
Oh, well, I can tell you personally, a lot. You can take a lot.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but I'm just saying, like, should I even bother with this conversation because I know it's going to suck ass? And then alternatively, if like you do get like a banger, like, shit talk or, New Jersey quip or something like that, that shit can get you tens of thousands of views, tens of thousands of retweets, quotes, all that kind of stuff. And then you got a shitload of new followers and then people like your shit. So
that was my high school basketball team, the New Jersey Quips. We went,
So there's an incentive to fucking banter the way that you would in a fucking, banter without consequences.
Hindsight being 2020, but back in 2011, when no one could imagine that you would have to conduct yourself like you're running for office at all moments of your life. I thought you could just talk. I was on Twitter like that. I was on Facebook, and I treated Facebook like it was because I don't have anything. I'm like, well, now I understand. Don't be honest about shit because they will be used against you in an election that you're not even running for. But at the time, I was like, it's like my diary. And I used to say on my Facebook, this sucks. Leave if you don't like it. Only 1 in 9 things will be worthwhile. It's just for me to work stuff out on here. I'd say that's law, whatever, fine. So that's crazy to do that. Put your diary. Even Anne Frank, her dad had to edit out all the masturbation and N-words before you could see it in school. Do you know what I mean?
Did she use the N-word?
Yeah. Do you ever read the Uncut?
That is shocking.
Anne Frank used the N-word.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Isn't she like not American? Is what language was? Do they even have the N-word?
Well, I don't want to say what in their language a racist word, but
I see.
The point is it had to be edited. And this is a girl who died in the Holocaust and had to have her diary edited so people wouldn't judge her. Like, that's how diaries were. So everybody got tricked into putting, it's not just your social, your address and that kind of personal information, your thoughts and feelings. It's all a trick for you to put it out there. It's not just for a corporation to use. It's for like these maniacs that came up through the blog scene and got into real media. It's for them to capitalize on. And they all got promoted. Who's the one from Washington Post that got fired? Felicia Sonmez. Did you see that?
Yeah.
So she's another one of those kind of Amber Heard types. That's why they're constantly trying to like, this Johnny Depp trial cannot stand, because they're that type of chick, and they got real far scaring people with those kind of like awful tactics. And it started around Gamergate.
Can I tell you why I'm still on Twitter though? Because so I saw this like 10 thread argument where somebody was arguing that Anne Frank wasn't murdered. And then it turns out that the person that was arguing that Anne Frank wasn't murdered in the Holocaust mixed it up with Helen Keller.
All right.
So he
Well,
had,
I mean,
like,
I
the
don't blame
fucking-
you.
They had
That's a
like a
bit
10
fucking-
post thread like, she wasn't murdered. What the fuck are you talking about?
I'd like to have
You
like
learned to
1,000
read.
likes.
They're just going at each other. And turns out she was thinking of Helen Keller.
Honest mistake, though.
Both broads.
Sly, do you know who Ellen Keller is, Sly?
Oh yeah. She's that hot chick who can't see or taste anything. Something like that.
She has
couldn't
long
taste-
COVID.
Yeah, she has COVID. And you could no longer taste or hear. I believe. I mean, don't quote me. I'm not a genius or nothing, but that's
It's kind of like if you remember before Trump became president, we were hearing nonstop stories from the media about how they were all going out of business because no one was reading the news anymore. And then, obviously Trump becomes president, everyone's glued to the news 24/7. And even with Trump gone, it seems like what the media has taken, the lesson from that is that we just need to sell outrage all the time forever because that's what will draw attention.
That
and this came up
predates Trump.
Yeah, and this came up recently with if you recall, the telescope, the James Webb telescope, that was taking all these cool pictures, of new things of Jupiter that's never seen before, new galaxy never seen before, and then every major newspaper put out an article on like the same day saying, "Oh my God, people want to rename the James Webb telescope because apparently this guy from like 1950 didn't like gay people." And if you read the article, it's one asshole assistant professor from some college somewhere made a petition that had like 100 people signing on to it. And yet all the media is reporting this like it fucking matters.
It's like a fossil fuel. They got to keep digging for more of it. It's like running out because you do
Recreational outrage.
You should see what they said about the James Webb toilet cam, how controversial that was.
You're going to see. Is my mic working, by the way? Can you hear me?
What's up? Faraday Speaks has joined the stream. Also, so has Dialogue Always, who Sitch has had beef with for like 2 years now. So we're going to quash that beef here before he takes off.
What's the beef about?
I'm stoked.
Well, let Faraday.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me, guys. Congrats on your 200 stream. And just to comment on what you were saying, I think you guys were saying that the journalists are sort of going online on Twitter and like mining for these like bullshit things to make articles. You're gonna see more of that because they are kind of running out of things to write. And you will see journalists like crop up entire little cottage industries. Like they will crop up entire subcultures like around a topic. So like the incel thing, they turned that into like a big giant subculture that it in a way that it didn't exist before. They do this a lot. They've done this a lot with like Tumblr communities. You're gonna see more of that.
Hey, wait, Kyle or Sly? I'm sorry, was Sly here?
Yeah, who's Kyle?
Yeah, who are you talking about? Don't be so insulting.
I just realized that maybe Warren Buffett should weigh in on
Oh, sure, we can talk about whatever you guys want to talk about.
Oh, because you're not a big crypto guy, Warren, right?
No, it's going to zero. You can be guaranteed that cryptocurrencies will be going to zero. Now Coca-Cola, there's something to invest your money in. It's a product. You can open it up. You can drink it down. You can do a bunch of things with it. You could put a nail in a cup, and 2 days later it'll be gone. So.
What about the Dogecoin though? The Dogecoin's going to the moon, right? All crypto's going to zero. This sounds insane, Warren.
Look, it's not a real thing. Do you own cryptocurrency?
Oh yeah, all my money's in cryptocurrency. Obviously, that's the future.
No, I believe it's going to zero. That's my opinion, and I've rarely been wrong. But how much money do you have? Let's compare our bank accounts and see who's going to be right.
Warren, okay, so you're pulling I have a bigger bank account. Well, we'll see.
He just whipped his dick on the table.
I did, didn't he?
I pulled my dick out and I put my ball sack out there too. It's all on the table there.
Considering your ball sack is a physical object, how much can we invest in that? Can we buy stocks in that?
Well, yeah, I mean,
Ball sack
honestly,
coins.
my ball sack is worth more than a cryptocurrency.
I just don't want any ball sack yields. All right, am I good there?
Well, you can loan against my ball sack and you use a collateral for the taint is actually an option as well.
Look, I'm getting ahead of this. I'm going for a niche market. I'm going to be plucking his hairs, and so you can come to me and
Oh my God. No.
Let's not forget about the asshole. I mean, it's right there.
Ass hairs and ball hairs are two separate markets.
But I'll trade you a nutsack for a Dogecoin any day of the week.
All right. Well, that was great.